Hello, adventurers. We are doing our Sunday morning live. Today we are talking about gargantuan encounters, big encounters for your D&D game. We're going to focus on a gargantuan spider and on a crown rot vine encounter that DM Evanson created. And I am joined today by our forever DM Evanson.
How's it going? Good to be here. Happy to talk about some monsters.
All right, so let's jump right in. I'm going to put up a quick video, which I added to high speed, and let's give a little background. We'll put up the video, and we'll just give it a quick pause. But before that, let me just say, subscribing is the best way to support us. We're trying to grow our Dungeons & Dragons base. We try to put out good content about different encounters, how to dungeon master, how to play, mining and maxing certain classes, and also just kind of playing classes that you enjoy, miniature painting, and everything D&D. We'll also be at Gen Con this year, filming some D&D content. So in this video before us, DM Evanson, we have a giant temple of Ioun, the lost goddess of knowledge, deep in a little bit of a dungeon, underground in the city. And we walk in. Well, actually, before we got there, there was a little bit of a puzzle. Can you tell me about the puzzle? We had to jump on these different steps and figure out how to enter this temple using knowledge and kind of a little intuition about it was almost like a word puzzle.
Yeah, I had basically a ring of words of a circle, and every word had its own section. And you had to pick the right word to jump in and get closer and closer to the center, which would unlock the next section. And it had words that were similar to Leon's principles, the teachings, as many people in the group are followers of Leon, the knowing mistress. So they had insight, judgment, and stuff like that. They had to choose or memories or stuff like that, and they had to choose which word was right. And if they failed, certain things would happen, such as points of exhaustion, pain, some basic damage, or delays, basically. So they had to keep on trying, and they failed a few times in receiving 3 to 4 levels of exhaustion before successfully completing it. And so they all work together.
We got into the temple, and some of our characters, one of the main characters, she's actually trying to find this lost temple. She had some levels of exhaustion to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think our cleric did too, a few levels of exhaustion.
They had enough that their movement was halved, and they might have had disadvantage on attacks.
Yeah. So we get into this temple, and you used, I guess, warlock terrain to create this giant temple and snap everything together.
Yep. I have a nice little collection of warlock terrain. I kind of drew out the temple myself on paper first, and then put it all together with warlock terrain. Basically drawing out the map I was going to use as far as where you need to properly walk. And what it was is, once Ashara, the sorceress, who is a follower of Leon, activated Aura Cassius, which is a cleric of Leon, would activate it. It would shut off the rest of the party from that walkway.
And so you can see on the map here, we have a little bit of a tan area with some hash marks, and you had some stairs going up. So in that area there, they went onto it, and she had to remember a certain pattern to run across. And we then were kind of trapped inside the temple.
I believe if you play the footage, you'll see the pattern behind myself at some point. There's a little...
oh, yeah, we had a little clip there.
I think if you go back a little bit, you see it when you zooms in or changes. But so the pattern basically popped up, and it was 4 blocks up, 4 to the right, 2 up, 2 to the left. You can kind of see it right there a little bit. But long story short, he had to do memory tests to remember the pattern. Once he moved off of it, the pattern would disappear. I would take it down off the TV screen.
Yeah.
And once he remembered it and he made a successful intellect check or just remembered it on his own, I would either bring it back up or allow him to look at a note that he wrote down. Due to his half movement, it took a long time to complete the puzzle, which I kind of vaguely planned out.
Yeah.
I was kind of happy it worked the way it did. Otherwise, it'd been a very quick fight.
And if you look at a screen here for podcast listeners, we have a giant temple of Ayun with the warlock terrain. It is, I'm not even sure how many boxes across it is. I could probably count it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, it's maybe 150 feet across, maybe 100, 150 feet wide. But you are dropping a ton of spiders and bugs.
Yeah,
mostly spiders. On the board right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 or 16 spiders. That's a lot of action economy. It's a lot of web throwing. It's a lot of spider bites as they get closer. I'm in the back. The wizard's in the back. And I did not have a good day. I got, if you picture it as a movie scene, I almost figure Bertrand, he's got his blue robes, his hat on, and these spiders just running up his back, just stabbing him in the back with these giant fangs, blood and poison just pouring out of him. And I actually think I dropped maybe twice in this fight.
Yeah, you dropped below zero at least twice. Particularly where you were was bad. They were shooting webs at you in the back, which was basically grounding you to the ground, making you restrained and grappled. Yeah. And the bad spider swarm, spiders, giant spiders, and then eventually a colossus spider, along with rat swarms. And it was a never-ending swarm of them. So once they killed a certain amount, more of them would respawn. And it was meant to keep going for as long as Ashara was continuing to try to complete the puzzle. So if she bailed on it and turned around and tried to help or finished it, the fight would end and everything would phase away. But the players did not know that. So they were very tense, and they couldn't get to her because of the magical ward.
So let me stop you right there. So as a dungeon master, you created a scenario to be a timed scenario where one character had to run across the pattern in order to freeze the action, and the other players were stuck there until that happened. So in your mind as a dungeon master, did you have a number of spiders and insects that were going to come, or was it basically an unlimited number? And we didn't realize that at the time that, as long as the timer's still going, we're still fighting. And really, we're gonna die at some point because we're just gonna be overwhelmed.
Yeah. No, that's exactly how I wanted it to be a never ending. I wanted you to eventually pick up. Like, I don't think this is gonna stop. Like you killed them all, and then like the next turn, they all like started dropping back down through the new holes. And I wanted it to feel like hopeless. As you see, I'm dropping down more and more. Spiders
on the right side of our screen, you actually created a line on the right side of our screen. I guess there were holes overhead. You created a line of spiders, and now rats were coming down. Was it spiders and rat swarms mostly?
Yep.
Spiders and rats. Those are the two main creatures.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And again, this was a little test to her faith. At what cost is knowledge worth? She willing to go all the way and sacrifice all her friends just to get to the end, or turn back? Luckily, it didn't cost that. It could have if she took longer or made bad choices. I mean, think about it. If she failed any of her intelligence checks, it could have been devastating, because what you didn't know is if she stepped wrong on a wrong square, it does a flat 10 damage to the room. Everyone takes 10 damage. And if it happens again, you get a level of exhaustion, everyone.
Okay, and we were getting to the point, this actually happened twice, I think, in the campaign, where we got to the point 3 and 4 levels of exhaustion, and all of a sudden we're looking, at 6 you're dead, and there's no, casting spell coming back. It's like, no, at 6 levels of exhaustion you die. and this is kind of like one of two encounters where we started having to worry about the exhaustion. We did feel pretty heroic. The bard was throwing some spells. I was throwing some lightning bolts, and we're like, "Hey, we're killing a lot of stuff." And then more comes on, and we're like, "Ruh-roh, we have a big problem here." In this scene, you can really see the spiders piling up against Bertrand in the back. The cleric pops the Twilight Sanctuary, which has been huge, and also there's a spell. I think it's Guardians of Faith, where anything that comes within the AOE slows down and takes damage.
Yeah,
Which was huge.
That was that controlled the fight. I mean, that was a huge boon to you guys, because once it got within that 15-foot radius, movement became half. Really slowed down my progress and bottlenecked everything, which was great for you guys for the fireballs and lightnings and all that. So it was really good strategy on your parts.
Yeah.
The cleric has been a real key to the battles with his Twilight abilities. So it's been fun trying to plan that accordingly. And, I sometimes throw more stuff that I shoot at you guys because I feel like you could find a way through it. It usually do.
Yeah. So towards the end of the fight here, I'll pause the video. Actually, I'll pull the video down.
Drop down right there.
Let's put up the giant, not even a giant spider. This is a gargantuan spider.
Yes.
This is a 3D printed model by you.
Yes.
Is that correct?
I can't recall the company that I printed because I printed it right around COVID. So it's been a while. About 4 years ago. Don't even want to say the wrong studio that might have been, but anyway.
If we find out, we'll put it in the links down below. But this is a nasty model. This model is it's gargantuan. It's basically the size of 4 player bases. I think that's a 60 millimeter base on there, maybe an 80 millimeter base.
Like a softball size.
It's a softball size spider.
Yeah.
And this drops down. And was this though? So this was part of the assault of this spider.
Yeah.
It wasn't part of the initial wave. But what was kind of your thought process behind dropping this down? We didn't know we had to shut it off. This actually could have killed us. Outright almost.
I dropped it down the second or third turn, knowing that you guys would be probably in a good situation where you're like, okay, we have a good rhythm. We could kill it off before it gets to us. And if it does get to us, we have high enough ACs that really shouldn't hurt us that much. And you had a nice little barrier of Twilight Sanctuary going. So I wanted to disrupt it. I wanted to be like, here's a big guy. You're not planning for this.
Yeah.
And he's got a bunch of fun abilities that your shield wall won't really stand up to. So, yeah.
Vorpal Bite enjoys the dungeon. He says that's a very good-looking dungeon. That's the terrain available by Warlock. It does add up, though, the expense. The Warlock terrain is available, but it is. You have a few sets there, right, Dave? That's got to be at least four sets.
I think I have at least 10 sets. But yeah,
you've been collecting. Can we pull up the stat block for the gargantuan spider? Do you have that available?
I do.
Let's see. Did you actually put it up already? Colossal spider.
Yep. Here we go. This was on D&D Beyond. This is a custom build, custom monster. It is one that I'm familiar with in the sense I've used it in the past. So I just added it to one of my monster lists. So when I make encounter, I can pull it up quickly. Comes off as a CR12. It's a huge, monstrous, chaotic, evil spider. AC 17, 247 HP, which is technically a little less than what I gave it because I maxed it out at 18D12 plus 90, and I just whatever that was, I maxed it.
Dave, let's pause right there. I definitely want to go through the stat block of this colossal spider, but I want to take a look at the hit points. So 18. I'm going to use my calculator. So 18 times 12 is actually 216. Plus 90 is 306. So they're saying colossal spider can have a maximum of 306 hit points, and I guess a minimum, which I never really thought of looking at until I was writing a little bit last night. 18. you can have a minimum of basically 108. So it's this. The range of this is 108 to 306.
Yeah, I
How do
think I
you
made it 300. I think I gave it.
how do you determine? Lately with my players, I have a larger group in my game that we play with the B team on Tuesdays, and so we have six. Well, we have six in ours also, but we have
Yeah,
six. So I'm finding that for the bigger monsters, I just max the hit points. I would go right to 306. So how
same
do
here.
how do you determine it?
Once I'm above 4 players, I go max HP. If anything, I might go max plus, uh, because of it kind of depends on action economy. So if it's just this as the big bad guy, and you guys, yeah, I'm giving it 300. Maybe I'm giving it a little more because of the
But speaking of action
person.
economy, you have 15 other spiders on the
Yeah,
board, so you
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
colossal plus 15.
Yeah. So
So
this one I just left it at like 300, but at the same time, I kind of felt like you weren't necessarily meant to kill it, as were to just buy time till the puzzle gets finished. So
yeah.
I knew once the puzzle got finished, things would go away. So I didn't really care too much about uh, HP in the sense because you weren't necessarily fighting it for the whole thing. So I just wanted to make sure it stayed alive so that it was a constant throughout. So just 300. But in any other situation, I'd probably give 300 HP as well.
Okay. Well, let's continue. You want to go through the stat block there?
Oh yeah, it's basic strength 18, dex 50, con 18, intellect 4, wisdom 4, charisma 4. Perception's a +5, damage, immunities, poison, condition immunities, poison.
Makes sense.
Blind sense 15, dark vision 60, passive perception 50.
Oh, it's blinded by harsh light. That's kind
Yes.
of cool. So
I was
if you catch
wondering if you guys all had dark vision and you are so used to getting dark vision cast on you through Cassius, which is like the
Yep.
improved dark vision of like 300 feet or whatever. So none of you ever bring torches. None of you ever cast light. None of you ever cast. So I bring all these dark vision characters to you guys and never have to worry about that. So it's very great. Most because I'm like, oh, I can see. I don't need light. So
Now, if one of the characters had taken the study action using a full action, which I don't think nobody would have done the study action because we were fighting all these other spiders,
yeah.
And they rolled well enough, I guess it's probably a nature check. It's a monstrosity.
Yeah,
or
I usually do that
check.
if you guys want to like see weakness or ask about something like that. I more or less
You might
I
have told
count
us
it
that
as that,
it's blinded.
and then I'll tell you usually immunities and or weaknesses,
Yep.
such as that. But no such thing
All right,
happened.
traits.
Spider climb, self-explanatory. This thing can move on walls like it's on floors, and you don't need to make any climbing checks.
Yep.
Web sense. So basically, if you're in contact of its web, it knows where you are, exactly where you are. Web walker ignores movement restrictions caused by webbing. And multi-attack. Going into its actions, it has 3 attacks. 1 with its bite, 2 with its claws. It may swap out a bite attack with either a poison, sting, web, or a pounce attack. And it may replace all of those with an entangled in web attack. Its bite attack is a +5, 5-foot reach, 1d8 +3 piercing. Target must succeed on a DC 11 con save or take 2d8 poison on a failed, and half as much on successful. The poison damage reduces the target to 0. If the poison reduces the target to 0, the target is stable, but the poison lasts for 1 hour, even after regenerating its hit points.
And they're also paralyzed and poison. So this is a classic Lord of the Rings spider.
Yeah,
I think it's Shelob, right? So if not a huge plus to hit, +5 to hit isn't huge. Damage is moderate. I mean, I would expect more from a giant spider. Doing an average 16 points damage. Even though level 4 and 5, it's super dangerous to us. But the point of the spider is to paralyze you, knock you down, drag you away, entangle you in the web. If you turn invisible and you walk through webbing, it knows where you are. It has blind sight 15 feet, and plus the dark vision, a decent passive perception. So this spider is going to be able to hunt you.
Yeah.
And if it captures you, it's gonna, you're gonna be paralyzed, and it's gonna eventually eat you. So I kind of like the whoever made this really looked at the different abilities of a giant spider
Yeah.
and created a fluffy type of aspect.
Agreed. I like that it has the pounce too. It has a rage attack weapon. Basically, the whole model jumps 30 feet. Everybody in that area makes, well, the target, I should say, makes a DC 12 acrobatics check or be knocked prone, taking 1d12 damage. So that's a nice way to like maybe mess up some lines of engagement, knocking down some characters from prone. Has a web recharge of
Well,
5 and
let's look
6.
at the pound, Dave. Let's look at the pounce. It can move 40 feet and then jump 30.
Yes.
That's a 70-foot threat radius. You can be 70 feet away. You pull out your bow. You think you're safe. It moves forward towards you, and it has spider climb, so no difficult terrain. And now it's jumping 30, and all of a sudden you're like, I have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is very cool. So it was able to get around a lot, which I liked. Get around a lot of those movement restrictions you guys have. But it also has a rage attack, +5 to hit, 30, 60 feet max. One creature, if the target is hit, is restrained by the webbing. A target is restrained. It must make a DC 12 strength check to burst out. Once you break out, the webbing is destroyed. The webbing has AC 10. AC of 10 and 5 hit points and vulnerability to fire. So it just kind of like locks you into place. You got to spend your action to break free. Obviously, when you're restrained, you're not moving anywhere, so you're really not doing much. You're in that one spot. So it's a way to just take a character out of combat for a turn, making them not useful. So that was nice. I did that to a few people throughout the fight, which was I think I did to the monk. I think I did it to you.
I was restrained. So the Entangled in Webs is a DC 25 strength check. That is one of the higher DCs. Although, again, I'm not sure. This is a homebrew character, sorry, a homebrew monster that was made on D&D Beyond. They did put down for the strength check, DC 25 strength check from the webs. However, an other character can get you out, basically. Armor class 10, 25 hit points, vulnerability to fire damage. So immune to bludgeoning. So the webs are begging for fire damage. So the webs are 25 hit points, double damage from fire. I'm not sure how much a torch would do, but at my level, a 2d10 firebolt would do 20 points damage, not enough to destroy it, but I'm doubling that. So I have a pretty good chance of one-shotting the web with a firebolt. We have flame breath. Trying to think what else is like localized fire that's not going to hurt the character.
Guiding bolt.
Guiding bolt is fire damage, or So, or you can cut through it. At AC 10, 25 hit points, a slashing weapon, barbarian fighter. I think our character Valum, the Dragonborn, should be able to put out 25 points damage pretty easily with a slashing attack. So he can cut through the webs.
Yeah, that was probably the thing that stuck out the most. The Entangled Web was my favorite because of the high DC and how much chaos it could cause, because it's such a high DC to break out. So you actually have to cut through. Yeah, you're not just easily getting out. Especially not everyone is easily getting out. So the wizards will have proper difficulty, so will the sorcerer and such. The poison sting was real nice. If you had a prone, if there is anyone prone, it could attack and it makes a dex of 15 save. And if you fail, you take 5d6 poison damage.
Wow.
So that, average of 22. Half of much on success, but that was a nice like big hit that it could dish out. So yeah, it was, again, with it and all the spiders along with it, it was a nice little encounter of chaos of spider webs. It just big bogged down and like, oh, I gotta break out now, and it's just still getting hit, and the whole time Ashara is moving 15 feet a turn and trying to get through her own 60-foot maze. So it was a nice little chaotic encounter.
I like it. Can you walk us through then the homebrew section of D&D Beyond where you found this? Because the next creature I'm not sure is on there, so I think this is a good stepping off point. That we have the Gargantuan spider, and you were looking for a certain CR monster spider for this encounter, and it's not in the monster manual, and you hadn't come across it in the any of the bestiaries. But people go on Beyond D&D or D&D Beyond, and they have a homebrew section, and they will basically upload their own monsters, and people view them, and there's like a little counter of how many people saved it. So you want to pull that up, Ian Mevinson? So walk
Yeah.
us through this. We're on the D&D Beyond main page. You going to tools or sources?
So you go to collections on the top
Collections.
tab,
Yep.
and you go to my encounters. Oh, I'm sorry. You go to my homebrews. Sorry. Click on
Okay.
my homebrews creations. It'll take you to this page. You'll probably not have anything below here because these are the things I actually added. But you go up here, click on homebrews. It takes you to homebrew section where you have backgrounds, feeds, magic items, monsters, species, spells, subclasses. So
Right.
if in this particular case I'm looking for monsters, you can create one from scratch, which I don't really want to do right now. So we're gonna click on Monster Homebrew, and we want a spider.
So you type a spider in a monster name.
We want it to be a huge. We want it to be CR at least 10 to let's say 15.
Okay.
And then we go find monster. Boom. And I don't know which way they organize it. I don't know if it's organized in release date. No.
Looks like it looks like it's out. It looks like it's alphabetical right now. So let's
Okay.
just look at the first one. We have an ancient shadow spider. It says the author who created and the date. It has number of views, 41 views and 15 ads. In the green room, you were explaining to me the number of ads.
25 ads.
Actually, 25 ads. Sorry, 41 views, 25 ads. So more than half the people looked at this have saved the ancient shadow spider.
Yeah. So basically, if you wanted to add ancient shadow spider, you would click on it. It'd give you a description. And then down here, you would hit add to collection. So when you went to your encounter builder and typed in spider, this would pop up as one of the options. Now, if you're like, well, there's so many, how do I know which one's good? You could do it by views. So you go like, this one's got no views and 2 ads. Well, it's probably not that great. Spit here says 2023. Let's organize it by the most. So this one's got 229 views and 37 ads. Okay, this might be something Spider Queen. So you kind of have an idea of what it might be. And then you click on, okay, this is a true Spider Queen. It's got like Call My Children. It's probably a little whatever. And then you go, oh, let's find something that has like the most amount of ads. Definitely don't want to go by that. 52 ads. Here we go. A mammoth spider. So that's basically how I go through things, and I find one that matches what I'm looking for, the CR level, or whether it's just by popularity. I might just take an ability. I might go, oh, this is a really cool ability. I'll just copy that, and maybe I'll paste it on the side thing, or I'll just sometimes keep both stat blocks up and pull from both, but to make a combination. But this is a great way to get ideas, inspirations for monsters that you're trying to build. I highly recommend going through and pick apart people's stuff, add what you like, take what you like.
So one of the downsides of D&D Beyond and a corporation running Dungeons and Dragons in general is kind of the microtransactions. We use D&D Beyond. My fellow Dark Alchemist, the Dead Professor, who was away this weekend, he has a subscription to D&D Beyond, and he buys a lot of the books, and he shares that with us. We have access to all the books. Although once in a while, I'll see a monster, and I'll say, "Oh, this will be a good monster." I'll click on it, and it'll say, "Oh, this is in the Storm King's Thunder book." And we didn't buy every single book. He didn't buy every single book.
Yeah.
So we won't have access to that monster. So the homebrew is a nice way of getting around that, where you might be able to find something you're looking for that somebody else created.
Yeah.
Might not be perfectly balanced, but it's a good starting point.
You also might find, like, if you're looking for an elemental ice spider, it's in Icewind Dale book.
Yes.
But you're like, I don't even know if I want to use it because it might not
Yeah.
have the
You don't want to spend
stats.
30, $40 on a book that you don't eat for one monster.
You might be able to type it into D&D Beyond and then find it. Someone made it 1-for-1.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
You
just
might.
because they didn't want to do the same thing. I
Yeah.
got you.
Well,
I
at the
got you.
very least, you'll have it close or maybe a substitute.
Yeah.
I find I use this a lot for Pathfinder stuff as well.
Yep.
There's a lot of Pathfinder. Pathfinder is great for obscure, weird, creepy monsters, like things that
Okay.
just don't make sense at all.
Yeah.
Like they don't really fit in anything, like like any world. They're just so weird and obscure, and but sometimes they're really cool for encounters. Viper vines was one of them. They were a vine creature with like these viper heads to them, and that doesn't exist in D&D. So I went to here. The monster had found viper vines, and it had a 1-for-1. Transferred it to D&D with D&D Beyond stats, so it was just like the appropriate DC saves. And I was like, oh, great. Someone did all the work for me already. And I was able to use those minis that I had and plug them right into our campaign very
Do you have
easily.
do you have the Pathfinder Bestiary book handy there?
Yeah.
Can you hold it up to the screen for us? Let's get you big on the screen, Dave. Let's take this down a second. And let's see, can we just do oh, that's me. I don't want me. I want just DM Evanson. There we go. Yeah, the Bestiary book. Okay, so Pathfinder Bestiary. We are a Dungeon Dragon channel, but this is the Pathfinder Bestiary. So this book is great to have these different monsters and then go to D&D Beyond and look it up. I love the Bestiary books. I have the Cobalt Press one. And honestly, I just like collecting these books. So what do you think of this book, Dave?
I love these because it's a little mini book. It's, half the size of a normal size book.
Oh, interesting.
So
what's the book behind it, Dave?
This is the Dragon.
Oh, is that the limited edition cover or the?
Yes, collector's edition.
Oh, that's nice. Oh wow, that is nice. But
I really like the art in this book. I think they did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wish Wizards D&D Beyond would make these bestiary mini books or monster manual mini books. As you know, the monster manual doesn't have everything, and as they put out new modules, they add in new sponsors, new stat blocks, and more and more as the years go on.
I'm coming across that a lot. That the monster manual doesn't have everything, and as I'm writing my adventure in the swamp, I've been making some creatures up, which I'm enjoying. But when I'm doing an encounter, I don't want to make every monster up because I'm not sure really how to balance them. I try to do a good job, but I'm really struggling to find some monsters, which is why I've been using the Coldwall Press 5th edition one. And I didn't realize the Homebrew had such a huge section, so I'll definitely be dipping into that for my monsters. And I'd like to put our own little bestiary out for the Silver Fang Society, the Monster Hunting Society might have a monster hunting book. So that leads us into the Crown Rot Vine fight. And this Crown Rot Vine is a creature that we didn't know was a creature. We were told you have to go into the woods of our homebrew world of Arendor, into the Monarch's Forest or the Veilbreak Forest, where we had to find a root that could basically be used as a alchemy or an herbal component to save somebody. We found out that had other uses. We did not know it was connected to a giant vine that was as big or bigger than the actual spider. And this vine actually had tendrils coming out of the ground where we're fighting all these individual tendrils and also this giant creature, not realizing that it's one creature, everything's connected, which I thought was excellent. That was a pretty cool, kind of combination that as we killed the individual vines, it would affect the big creature. Let's talk about the model first. This is another 3D print from somewhere.
Yeah, this is another one of those. I don't know where I printed it from. It was actually a failed print. It was a few pieces put together, and the bottom like melted. It failed, so nothing went together nice. But I had some green stuff or whatever that stuff is called, the model putty, and I kind of just filled in the voids. Like there were some big gaps between this, and then just did my best to make it look somewhat natural or vinish, and just painted over it so like it's not too obvious. and it didn't look
I love
that
the
bad.
colors. The orange and the green was awesome. It looked flowery and vine-like and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, I'm gonna somehow save this mini and use it for an encounter. And while I was painting it, I kind of created this encounter in my head, and I was like, oh, we'll file that away one day. And a couple of years later, here we are. And
Couple years.
I was like,
So let
go.
me paint a picture. Well, we're into the woods. We have this squire with us who was lying. He was supposed to be a knight, but he's a squire. You come to this section of the woods. You have down a dry erase green forest board. We're using Monster Fight Club terrain, which we're able to 3D print also now. We have all the files when it originally came out. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Monster Fight Club company, but the terrain is pretty cool. Their trees, the tops of the trees come off, the tree caps come off, but you can use those as bushes yourself. They got
Yeah,
cool rocks.
you could see those
We look,
bushes right there, and those bushes are technically tops of the trees.
yes, we come down like an alley of trees, and we're in the middle of it. And at the end, you have a little display of we think is the crown rot root, and we're like, oh great, it's right there. We just have to fight through all these vines. We should be in good shape. And that's it. We
Yes,
start pushing forward.
I had a random. I don't even remember where I got it, but there was a little circle of mushrooms
Okay,
that are grown in a perfect circle, which is
that's a
there.
fairy circle.
That is on the table right there. And
Yep.
I had another broken model that just had like the bush, the weeds coming up, but it didn't have the viper vine.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, I'll stick that in the middle, and I put that back there as a little distraction. I figured they're gonna think this is the main.
I did think that was the main objective, and like we just kill vines. We're like, okay, they're tough. Now, let me ask you a question, which I don't think we
That
ever
worked out
answered.
great.
The question was, I saw a couple of wasps.
Yeah.
Did you feel like we had enough trouble? You don't want to throw the wasp at us? They were for decoration.
No, I had stuff on the outskirts because I wasn't sure if you were going to try to sneak around. And if you stuck
Gotcha.
around, there were potential side encounters.
And on a video here, you just move all these bushes
Yeah.
and locked us in. Like basically, the door slammed shut.
Yes,
Bertrand, my wizard, was standing back throwing lightning bolts. Let me add this to the stage. So this is what the professor suggested I do.
yeah.
This is Owly. He's my familiar. I was originally using the hawk or the eagle to have their perception checks as a familiar flying overhead. So Scott suggested I change to an owl. Also, perception not as good, but also flies. I can get a bird's eye view, literally above us. But the owl flies next to me. I touch him. It's a touch spell. I cast breathe fire, or really breathe anything: fire, frost, maybe necrotic. There's a list: radiant, what you
That's
can
great.
breathe. And now I send him up to do a 15-foot cone attack of fire as a bonus action. And the owl, and actually look this up on Beyond D&D Beyond. People complain that this is the only familiar you should use because the owl has a flyby attack, no opportunity attacks as it leaves. Right. That being said, I mean he's got 1 to 3 hit points,
Mm-hmm.
and an armor class of 11 or 12 is not
Yeah,
great.
he
So
needs that
you know,
flyby attack.
he needs a flyby, and if you want to shoot him down, you just gotta hit him basically
Yeah,
and not roll a 1, or maybe even roll a 1 and you'd be okay. Um,
great image. But that is a new tactic you've been doing a lot. You can see the little owl guy to the left over there. Oh no,
yep.
but yeah, so I had a layer action that would also move all the bushes to like kind of block line of sight if need be, and then I had it as basically the same as the web. You could attack the bush, X amount of HP, you break through, or you
Which we
can
did.
try,
I believe
or
I blasted one bush.
or strength check to like power through to
Okay.
break it as well. You blasted it, which opened up a pathway, which you were able to get back in, save the squire, and continue the fight. But yeah, there was a little bit of a layer action with a couple of other hidden things in this fight. The tentacles that you see had a 20-foot reach. When they grab,
That was huge.
they pull in 10 feet closer to them. And then you're also grappled.
So one of the worst things about a 20-foot reach on a tentacle attack is when they surrounded us, these tentacles move and they pop out of the ground. And now, you're 15 feet from two tentacles, 5 feet from other one. You said, okay, let me reposition. I fall back and you're like, oh, 2 opportunity attacks. I'm like, from what? They're like, oh, the tentacle's 15 feet away, have a 20-foot reach. So you move 10 feet and all of a sudden you're getting hit by tentacles 20 feet away as an opportunity attack. So those tentacles really limited what happened. So on the screen now we have the vine came out. We did some pictures on our phones. And tell me about this monster. We don't have a stat block for it to pull up on the screen. We'll let the video run, but you have it on paper. This is a paper creation, right?
Yeah, I there was not going to be anything on D&D Beyond for this because this is very custom. So I made my own. I had this nice little character sheet I wrote up, which Roy was so nice to give me these little initiative trackers that have all the things you need.
I need some for myself now. I got to buy some more.
Yeah. I went from like, oh, I don't think I'm ever going to use these to like, oh, I think I'm always going to use these now. It's really funny.
Yeah. I find myself as a game master. I find myself as a game master. I have a little note thing where it's not on a board, but when I see yours on there, and like if you can list armor class, hit points, and like a couple of the abilities that you need, it just makes it so much easier to have it hang.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
I hate like slowing up combat for stuff I should know, like
especially a big combat like this. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so talk us about the crown rot vine giant monster that's attacking us.
All right, I gave it an AC of 16. It has 300. I'm sorry, it has 500 hit points.
Okay.
That 500 hit points is shared with all of the beasts, so it technically has like 350 with itself. For everything else is, all the arms and
500 total hit points.
Yes, it has a vine lash attack. It does 2d8 plus 4. Which will grapple you. Strength 15 to break out. As well as the start of its turn, you deal 1d8 damage as it, basically squeezes you. It had a thorn blight toxin, which would make everyone in an area, I think it was a 30-foot area, would have to make a con save, DC 16. If you failed, you were poisoned. Healing was halved for you. And if you failed to save by 5 or more, you became paranoid, not being able to tell friend from foe.
That's cool. That's a cool little mechanic that I really haven't seen before. I don't know if you got it from somewhere, but I thought paranoia thing. And then what would you have done if like I said, okay, I'm casting a spell and I was under the paranoia effect? I wasn't affected by me, but would I had to roll randomly see who I attack?
Probably the randomly or just percentile, maybe I had a few different options for that. Unfortunately, no one failed it by that much, so no one got paranoid. Lucky. But it's either going to be like everyone roll percentile, and then you roll percentile, and whoever is closer, you attack that percentile. or something along those lines. I had a few different options, but it didn't really come up, so we didn't get to play that out. But oh well, it would have been fun to see some of the bigger characters attacking each other. But oh well. Anyway, so that went off. A lot of people got hit by that. The half healing, everyone at least affected someone at some point.
Yep.
Which was nice. I like half healing on my PCs. I had a bloom pulse, which is a 30-foot radius, DC 16, and basically everyone passed that one as well. And that was another potential takeover where I was going to have you roll a D6, and as long as you rolled above a 3, nothing happened. If you rolled a 1 or a 2, you were like confused and you wasted your turn.
Okay.
So it's gonna be like a confusion type of a thing, and you'd be like, you're just like a
you don't have that. You don't have that many turns to begin with in a fight like this.
Yeah.
I think this fight went longer, but most fights aren't going 10, 12, 15 rounds. By round 5 or 6, you're kind of like, okay, we're either losing or we're winning. So when
this was also like at the end of a 40-day journey, it was meant to be like what you were here for.
Yeah.
It had immunities to being charmed, blinded, deafened, poisoned. It tremor sense to 60 feet, passive perception of 17.
Oh, I like the tremor sense aspect of a plant with the underground roots being able to kind of see where you are. Right? If
Yeah,
I would have turned invisible.
yeah.
You have a lot of flying people now, though, Dave. Well, how do you feel about the flying?
Uh, it's been great. It served you guys real well.
I
It
know, but
allows,
how do you feel about it as a DM? Is it
I'm
tough
all
to
right. Yeah,
manage people who fly?
not yet. I haven't noticed it yet. We haven't really gotten to a situation where I'm unable to get to you. So maybe if you are all flying and I can't, it'll be something interesting.
Yeah.
Um, although you do get in and out of things a lot easier than I expected sometimes.
Hmm.
A lot of that is flying combined with other abilities, So it's
Yeah.
just it is what it is.
Yeah. Now, in this account of the bard went down once or twice. I think
The
the monk
bard
went down once or
died
twice.
in this
Oh, the
account.
bard died. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The bard
Yeah.
got hit while it was down, failing his 2 saves, and then on his turn failed his death save, rendering him lifeless. As Cassius on the next turn healed the monk, healed the bard, but only the monk stood up.
Hmm.
And the fight continued, and right after the fight was when the resurrection took place.
That was a revivify from a scroll or from a spell we had, right?
Yeah.
I think we have one in a scroll, but that we have the revivify, and then was there so with our homebrew rules, exhaustion and possibly being stunned after going to 0 hit points and making a death save. With the revivify, did we do anything with that, or did he just basically stand up and start to heal and he was okay? There was no lasting side effects.
Not yet. For your first death and resurrection, I don't penalize the players in that regard. We already have a pretty harsh rule set we agreed upon for just going below 0 and making a
Mhm.
death save. We have a pretty substantial snowballing effect that every time you get down below 0 and make a death save, and then once you're brought back up, 1 point of healing or whatever, you have like a staggering condition. So like that turn, you're -2 to hit, you're
Yeah,
-2 to your AC for the turn, and you have like disadvantage. This is basically get your wits back about you, but you get a level of exhaustion as well.
correct.
So next turn, that all goes away. Exhaustion stays. Every time you drop down and have to make a death save, you get a level of exhaustion. So it's to
How do
make
you feel? How do you feel about
it
our
feel a little
hidden?
more.
How do you feel about our hidden death saves? Now you're rolling the death
Yeah.
saves.
I mean, I
Do you
like
like
it.
it?
I think it's playing out nicely. I just gotta get a better poker face. So I'm like, oh, but I like it because
Exactly.
it allows the players to RP a little more rather than be like, he's down. He's got 3 turns before we need to worry about it.
And yeah, you're looking at your watch subconsciously, like you're looking at your watch, like he's got 3 turns before we have to worry
Yeah,
about
yeah.
getting him back up. No, I think it's good. I think as a dungeon master, let's get our banner up here. My mouse is a bit slow today. Dungeon master tips: roll your death saves in secret. It makes it more dramatic, so the person goes down. Especially, I mean, you roll a lot of 20s, Dave, but if you drop a 1, that's 2 failed death saves.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee you have 3 rounds.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's why I wanted to keep it. I don't want guarantees of that, especially when it comes to that close. I mean, D&D, there's so many ways to bring people back to life, saving people. The start of my turn, everyone heals. The end of my turn, everyone heals. The start of your turn, you heal. I mean, there's so many things like that we wanted to be a little more deadlier because we had a last campaign. We had a monk. It was like he was down, up, down, up, down, like at least 8 times in a fight, and then he's just like, all right, I'm back up, and as if nothing happens. Even though I
Yeah,
always make a
yeah.
death
I'm
save,
alive. I'm dead. I'm alive. I'm dead.
it's just like this
Like
shit.
the scene from Shrek.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like real. It felt a little corny, so we wanted to make it a little grimmer, I guess.
Yeah.
So we all agreed as house rules, so that's been applied. So, but when you die, you come back through an actual resurrection spell or revivify. All of that's negated, and you're back to new. Because there's a huge cost for that, the diamond cost. So I didn't want to make it. I didn't want to nerf that. So because there's such a huge cost of it, you guys are healed. You're back to normal. But I think if you continue to keep dying, we might enter into some new stuff that I might bring in. But we'll see. We'll see when it comes up. I got some house rules I want to bring up to the people to see if they like lingering effects. I thought of, which could be interesting.
A lingering effect table of some sort.
Yeah, I will add it to the stage.
All right, let me remove this here. This is a surprise to me. This is a surprise to me. Oh, you have it up on a World of Erendor already. Okay,
Instead
run
of
through
death,
possible lingering effects.
like limping, your leg isn't what it used to be. Your speed is reduced by 5. One eye, you're missing an eye. You have disadvantage on range attack rolls beyond 30 feet. Trauma, you you startle easily. You've disadvantage on initiative roll. There's a few different versions instead of death. And as things go on, maybe on your 5th resurrection, maybe you have some of these as permanent abilities now. Or maybe you're out of a diamond and you don't want to really die. And your god brings you back for free. Maybe you have a lingering effect. So I thought about adding these, but we'll see.
So let me ask you: in a world of high magic, how would you handle this with things like Greater Restoration, which is a rare spell? Like, just say I had a bad shoulder. It's like, well, how am I going to be able to correct that? Maybe in the middle of the adventure, it's good to have a bad shoulder, and you go maybe 1 or 2 sessions. Eventually, get back to a city. Oh, I can finally fix my bad shoulder.
Yeah, maybe that could be, that? Or also that could be your new baseline. That is your new healthy.
Oh, I like that.
You know what I mean? Like if you're born with a cleft lip, that is your new, that is your. So regardless if you get a healing spell, your cleft lip doesn't go away.
Let me jump in here.
Yeah,
you can play Dungeons and Dragons however you want, and we like high magic, high fantasy.
Yeah,
there's a thing online where people are saying, there might be somebody in a wheelchair who wants to play as a wheelchair character. Hey, if you want to play that way, I think it's awesome. I think you could have some cool magical wheelchairs and stuff like that with abilities and lasers or guns. Not really guns, but some magical stuff. Maybe a flying wheelchair, right? But that's the point. Everybody says, "Oh, it's a magical world. There'll be nobody in a wheelchair." Well, first of all, the spells are high level. Not everybody has access to great magic or great spells, just like not everybody has access to great healthcare in the world, right?
Yeah.
But if a person was born with a condition that put them in a wheelchair, or a person was born with a bad shoulder, that is their baseline. And by you saying this is a new baseline, the spell did heal you. Just like a vampire is supposedly, in that condition for the rest of his life. So if you become a vampire at 20 or 40, you become a vampire with long hair, and you cut your hair, it always grows. In some of the movies, I know the one girl, she would get a tattoo every day because when she woke up in the morning, her skin would heal, the tattoo would be gone.
Yeah.
So if your baseline is a bad shoulder, or if your baseline is one eye, then the healing spell brings you back to that baseline, right?
Yeah.
That's super insightful. I never even thought of it.
I took that a little bit from Vampire the Masquerade. It had a little similar things of like if you died with long hair, you have long hair, you cut your hair every day to get it to where you look, but it's gonna go back to where it was, or everything goes back to where it was when the day you were turned, kind of. So I want, like, there should be a baseline. The same reason if you're in a wheelchair. Now, if you're put in a wheelchair recently, that's different. Maybe you could be healed. But in the same regret, like you were saying, like not everybody has healthcare. You might be in a small village and you had a bull kick you in the head, and you know what I mean. It's not mages going around like I can't sleep, I must heal the world. So there's gonna be
also the expense. If I don't know, I mean, with a revivify and a resurrection of diamonds and stuff.
Oh yeah,
a greater restoration. If the reagents for that are a diamond, it's like, hey, can you heal me? It's like, I don't know, are you worth 300 gold? I mean, that's more than you make in 10 years of being working on the farm, right? That's an expensive thing for a cleric just to be throwing around diamonds at people to heal them. So if that's good. I like the whole baseline aspect of it, and but it's what the players agree upon. So in our world, we want to be a little more brutal. It also gives access now to magic items. Like there's an eye that's in Baldur's Gate 3, magical eye that replaces it, lets you see and stuff like that. You can actually have it ripped out and replaced in the game.
Yeah, but nothing's to say that you can't find a magic item to fix this as well. If we did agree upon,
or an artificer might give you a hand or an arm or a robot suit or a skeleton, exoskeleton, right? That might be fun to create. Yeah. So, But so epic encounters. Let's close with this. Um, Good, bad, ugly of running an epic encounter where you have 15 creatures plus one big bad guy in a bar and a party of six. What's your biggest challenges in running something like that, do you think?
I think it's not doing it all at once. In a sense that you don't want to show your hand right away. You want it to almost like a RPG that you play like a WoW or Final Fantasy Online, where you get the boss below 25% health. Well, now you're going into the second stage of the fight where now this happens, or now he has,
Okay,
or and maybe instead of that, it's these creatures now come out, or these mobs now come out, or he gets this new ability, rather than just being like everything's on this stage, turn one, and now fight.
okay,
Because then it's like, well, nothing's ever going to change. It's what's there is there. So if you want it to feel epic, you want it to feel like things are happening, or it's like living. You might want to slow roll your bad guys to the table.
gotcha, gotcha.
So that's
So
my little tip. I would say is to slow roll them. Don't just show your whole head, uh, and have unique abilities, like so that it moves the battlefield around, whether it's layer actions or extra boss actions. But yeah,
yeah, even a small bad guy can have a lair action. You could have you can go to a dungeon and maybe there's a mage down there doing a ritual. You can give him one lair action, and his lair action might be like a trap goes off, right? And it was slow recharge, or he doesn't have necessarily the spell. He might not have the spell animate dead, but the dead for he summons the dead from the dungeons in the lair action, and it doesn't seem huge, but just a couple things show up, and you're like, oh my god, when that happens, then it's kind of scary.
yeah,
My tip for the big encounters, I ran a big encounter for the B team where they were fighting in the town. It got attacked by some cultists, and the party split. So it was actually funny that we had three different areas,
that's cool.
but in some of the areas there were more cultists, and I like to group my monsters. So if I have three or more bad guys, so in this case I had five cultists, so it was 3 and 2. So three cultists were cultist group A, the two were B, and they all go at the same time, either slow rolling the individual character, in which case I don't like to put too many together because now there's too much action economy where 10 people are attacking you and you can't get away. But three people attacking is good. And then also I'll use the mob rule, which is a chart in the Dungeon Master's Guide. If three people are attacking armor class 17, one is going to hit automatically. You don't have to roll. Or if three people are attacking armor class 20, they can't hit. You have to roll it. Three people attacking armor class 10, two people might hit, which is just 2 damage rolls until they get it down to one monster, and then you start to break it up. And I feel like this way I can put more low level creatures, almost like the minions, and the characters have a lot of stuff to knock down and beat up. Where like they feel heroic when they go through 6 or 7 goblins or 6 or 7 bad guys. They really feel like a fighter taking groups of people out.
Yeah, that's couldn't agree more.
So, all right. So that is our D&D Big Encounters, Gargantuan Spider and Huge Plant Battle with DM Evanson. You can find DM Evanson on all the socials, but mainly Instagram, where he has been posting a lot of content about different monsters and a little lore, which I love on a little rotary thing. You have a large collection of miniatures in order to talk about. That's DM underscore EVENSEN, DM Evanson on Instagram. Of course, you can follow us, Dark Alchemy, at Dark Alchemy LTD, all one word, on YouTube, which you're watching here, Instagram, and Facebook page. We will all be going to Gen Con in 2 weeks. It's getting close.
Sure is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Sure is.
We're going to do some content out there.
Yeah, it's 13, so yeah.
Yep. And we filmed the second fight, which was the Crown Rot Vine fight on the DJI Action 4. And then I put it through a program called DaVinci Resolve to bring it up to 1,000 speed, 10 times speed. So that was 1 hour of video in basically 8.5, 9 minutes, which I thought was
Yeah,
great.
nice.
What'd you think of the video? The quality of the lens, I thought it was nice and clear. We didn't
Yeah.
link audio to it, but it's cool to be able to film and share that.
No, I like that. I like just the fast speed. We talk about pause moments, refer to it. That was cool.
Join us next Sunday for our next Sunday Live, where the Dead Professor will be back. I'm not sure what we'll be talking about next week. Sometimes we pre-record our shows. Sometimes we do a Sunday morning live. Always feel free to share the channel and also jump on with your comments. We like to hear the comments from the different people. And if you're interested in being interviewed and you're a dungeon master or a player with a lot of experience, reach out to us. Send us a message on the channel or darkalchemyltd@gmail.com. All right, DM Evanson, we will see you Wednesday for our game.
Yes, back to the Feywild.
Back to the Feywild. You were very mean when that goblin killed all those little pixies in terms of pixie juice, man.
I didn't do anything.
I can't believe you did that. All right. All right, have a great Saturday.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.